I've been on a quest for a long time for a certain kind of controller. And the reason I was looking for this controller is because I wanted to have mobile gaming and physical controls. One of my favorite things to do was to use emulators on my phone. And I used to have a phone that had a slide out keyboard. We all remember those, right? But at some point, we all decided for some reason that we don't really need physical controls anymore. It kind of reminds me of Steve Jobs saying, you don't need a pointing device or anything like that. Like, you don't need a stylus on your phone. You don't need buttons. You've already got a touch screen and you've already got a built-in pointer. But one of the things that took away from mobile gamers, especially using emulators and things, was physical controls. Because we've all tried to play a game on a touch screen, and it's a pain in the butt to try to use touch controls. I don't think anybody really likes it. And if you look out there, there's all kinds of weird solutions for it, like those little springy things that slide around. I remember the first time I saw touch controls being used on a phone. I think it was for Minecraft Pocket Edition, and I was just like, that doesn't look comfortable at all. I mean, it's like, if you ever played Elder Scrolls Arena with the mouse controls, it's just bad. That actually should have been touch controls, I think. That would have been really cool. I think that would have been a good fit. But the point I'm trying to make is that it really stinks playing on a phone when you don't have physical controls. And so I wanted to find some kind of controller that I could use for mobile gaming. And if you look on Amazon, there's just tons of stuff out there that doesn't look good, and it has mixed reviews. So I wanted to show you one today that that I chose to use to give me physical controls while I'm gaming. So I'm going to be showing you the Beboncool, or however the heck you say this thing. I mean, every review I've seen, people don't know how to say this, but it's this controller, Beboncool. Beboncool. They really should have chose a better name for this, I guess. But this is basically probably one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest. No, there's another one out there that's cheaper probably, but this is one of the cheapest solutions to getting physical controls for mobile gaming. There's two models of it, it seems like. There's one that's like the one I have that has paddles on the backside, and then there's one without paddles on the backside. I'm pretty sure that that sounds so weird. I'm pretty sure that all of them come with the paddles in the back now, and basically there are R2 and L2 control buttons, paddles, shoulder buttons, I guess. One of the biggest concerns for me whenever I'm picking out a controller is the D-pad, and that's basically where I'm going to start. And that's probably my biggest complaint, which is a good thing. I mean, I should tell you, this is a good controller. It's my biggest complaint about this controller. It's really kind of sticky, and it's not crisp at all. It's kind of gooey, gummy, whatever you want to call it. But one of the things that's horrible about this is whenever you're trying to do combos, like roll combos in fighting games, or specifically in Contra, if you want to aim down, down and to the right or down to the left, whatever, not just straight down or straight up or anything like that, even up, you just don't get a good feel of where that is. And sometimes I just want to shoot down and not move at all, or up and not move at all, but it's not precise enough where the actual just down is. You can't feel it like you can say on like a NES controller, a regular NES controller. So that's probably my biggest complaint about this. Another small complaint is the start and select buttons are really close to the right joystick, which is it makes it harder for people with big hands whenever you want to hit start or select without bumping the joystick. It's not super it doesn't really set you back or anything. It's not a big obstacle, but it's just kind of annoying. And I know that they're trying to make this controller small, so that's why they did it. But yeah, it's just kind of annoying. Another thing that I don't like, and I'll get to the pros after all this, is these buttons. Your A, B, X, and Y buttons. After a while, they just feel uncomfortable, just because I can't remember if it's concave or convex, but basically they roll out. They're like an orb on the top, and that's not necessarily comfortable. I still really like the feel of the classic NES controller, where your fingers kind of rest in them comfortably. One more complaint would be that the weight of the controller. The weight of the controller is really light. It feels cheaply made. That's because it is cheap. But I would say one good thing about that is that it's cheap. The bad thing about it is that when you have a phone or something in the slot that holds it, the controller will just flop down when you set it down. It won't set up. Which, it's not that big a deal, but it's just kind of it doesn't look, it's not nice, it doesn't look nice, and it doesn't feel strong and hefty. It doesn't feel like it's not going to break. So let's go over some pros. First of all, pro is obviously the built-in holder. This holder is one of the main things that, if you look at the 8-bit Do, or Do, however you say that, man, what's the deal with these weird names on these guys? The 8-bit Do controllers, you get this basic setup, but you don't have a clasp to hold your phone up unless you pay like an extra $10, which I think is a total ripoff. If you do get the NES or the Famicom Classic style controllers, they come with it, but it's not a clasp. It's just called what they're calling an X stander, and it basically is just a little stand for you to put your phone somewhere. So if you're sitting in a waiting room or something like that, where you have some room, or maybe on a plane where you have like a tray or whatever, that'll work. But one of the main problems is that it's not good for if you're in the car and you don't have somewhere to set it down. So this kind of controller, one of the best things about it is this little built-in holder, because it just holds your phone, and it's adjustable. So if you have a huge note or something like that, phones are getting huge and bigger. Basically, it's like holding a tablet sometimes, but even if you have a large phone, it should still fit comfortably. You can look up the specs on exactly how big of a phone will fit in there. The phone that I use, I think, is 3.5 inches wide, and it fits just fine. And it's deep enough also. You can see right there that it's quite a deep grip on there, just like you'd find on any kind of like a Gorilla Grip phone holder, tripod, something like that. Another great pro about this is that the charging port is just a USB, regular. It's not USB-C, it's just regular micro USB. That's good. So you can use pretty well any phone charger. But also the charge lasts forever on this thing. I played probably for like 3 hours one time when I was waiting on my car to get its tires changed, or new tires on it, and it lasted the whole time. I didn't run out of, and I didn't even start with a full battery. My phone has run out of battery every time before this controller. I don't know what kind of battery they have in there, but it's great. It uses Bluetooth, standard Bluetooth, so it'll hook up to pretty much anything that uses Bluetooth. That's one of the biggest pros about it, is that it just easily connects to your computer, like whether you're using PC or Mac, or if you're using Android. I haven't tried it on iPhone yet, but there's like a little switcher here that'll switch through the different connect modes, and it's pretty much designed to connect to anything. Whenever I was originally looking for a controller, I was trying to use a Wii U Pro controller as kind of like a holy grail to find something that would let you connect that to your phone. I know that's not what it's designed for, but I just like to make stuff work like how I want it to, not necessarily how it's designed to. You can get programs to hook it up to your PC, but good luck with hooking it up to your phone. This thing works just fine. It connects pretty much immediately. You kind of have to read the manual to figure out how to set it up, but once you understand how it works, it's no problem at all. So the buttons, it's one of the greatest things about this. I'm going to compare it to the 8-bit Do or 8-bit Do, whichever one you do. 8-bit Do controller, Do. You can get two styles with those guys. You can get a Pro, or you can get just like the regular. The Pro has two joysticks on it, and it's got all the shoulder buttons and R1, R2, R2, L2, whatever. And this one just comes with all of it. It doesn't try to play any games with you and try to, well, I mean, it's for playing games, but they don't try to play any games with you, trying to get you to pay extra for buttons that should already come on your controller, in my opinion. They just add it all in there. One of the good things about them putting all these buttons on here is they do it without sacrificing any space. I mean, you know, they've got all the buttons on there, and it's still small and compact enough to fit in your pocket. So yeah, that's all for the my review on the Beboncool, whatever Bluetooth controller. I just wanted to do a good review on it. I saw some other ones out there that weren't very informative and didn't cover things that I wanted to cover. So I hope I covered everything you were interested about. And if you enjoyed it, just like, and if you want to see more stuff like this and other random junk, just subscribe. Thank you.